Warning, what you're about to hear or see may contain spoilers. If you do not like to be spoiled, I advise you to pause, stop, and leave the video right now. Go watch or read the anime or manga in the title, and then come back, continue watching, comment, and enjoy. Breaking into chapter 3, man. We're into chapter 3. So it opens up with Shiki, Rebecca, and Happy inside the Adventurers Guild Hall. And if you take a look at some of these panels, man, you're gonna see a few familiar faces. I'll try my best to zoom in on them, just so you can remember who they are, but we'll get further into the story. So, they arrive inside the guild hall, and Shiki's still just blown away by everything, and he's just like, oh man, he still wants to touch all of the humans. And then he's again stopped by Rebecca, as he's like, no, again, you still can't do that. And then we get introduced to a new character, guild receptionist, Clarice Leah. And Clarice, Happy and Rebecca run over to Clarice, and just like, oh, Happy, welcome, we're here, we're home. And she's like, I was so worried, but she's just crying like, I'm glad you're all right, geez, Rebecca's like, Jesus, it's not really that big of a deal. And so Rebecca introduces Shiki, and she's like, this is Shiki Graham Bell, he's a castaway, and she's still just crying, because Rebecca made a new friend, and she basically tells him, my man does not have an ID, so they got to get him ID. That's what they came here for. And then you just see Shiki over here touching on people, like this big muscular dude. She's like, let's be friends. And Rebecca's still pulling him away, like, stop, like, you can't do that. That's not the way you make friends. And then, as Shiki's, dropped to his back, just looking up, he notices the hologram of the big, beautiful woman we saw in the beginning of chapter 2. I mean, Rebecca has to let him know that that's Mother, and he's just like, Mother? Basically, that's Mother. She's this huge woman. She's a bigger woman than any star in space, and no one knows exactly why she exists or what she lives for. She's like one of the greatest mysteries out there in the galaxy. And it said a long time ago, an adventurer went beyond the Sakura cosmos and found her by coincidence, and that's the only info that anyone has on her. Before you know it, adventurers worshipped her as a goddess of space, and the guilds even adorned her image. Shiki's like, I think I've met her before. And everyone's just like, hold up, what? Get it, boy, you don't stop lying. And they just bust out laughing, just like, man, get out of here, bro. He's like, he's met Mother, what a hero, ha, just like, you sure it wasn't your own mommy? He's like, what a joke. And Shiki's just confused, and Rebecca's sitting there embarrassed, just plenty of fun. People still just jeering and, just making fun. And Shiki's just like, hold up, hey, yo, what's up, y'all? Hey, y'all want to be friends, right? And then Rebecca's sitting there like, that's totally not what they wanted to do. They did not want to be your friend. They were laughing at you, my guy. And they're still just like, yo, my man said he want to be friends. She's like, I can't, what's with this guy, And Rebecca's still extremely embarrassed. And then she's caught off guard by someone else. We're getting introduced to another character who looks familiar to someone else in Fairy Tail. And then she comes on the scene talking about if it isn't the second-rate B-Cuber Rebecca-san herself and her trashy cat Hoppy-san. That ain't even right. And we find out her name is Lavilla, and Happy's like, my name isn't Hoppy, like, come on, girl, you better get this right. And then everybody's just, fanboy and fangirling over Lavala. So she must be essentially a famous something or another in the guild, or a B-Cuber. And some dude just like, I'm a fan, sign this. And she'll be like, that's 100,000. And for a picture, it's 50, and it's like so pricey. He's like, please deposit your payment into my channel. So she is a B-Cuber, confirmed B-Cuber, and she signed that man's thing in a turd. She drew a straight turd on his thing, not his thing, on his paper, people, not the thing. She drew a turd on the paper. And so her and Rebecca facing off, and just like, she basically talking trash, like, I ain't seen no videos up recently, so you must be getting ready to shut down the shop, close up, retire. And Shiki's still just like, who is this? And she's a famous B-Cuber, Lavala Christie, and she's someone I hate, which is Rebecca pretty much talking to Shiki. And she's like, oh, you're mistaken, I'm a super famous B-Cuber. Get the words right. There's not a soul in this cosmos who doesn't know my name. She's big-headed like that. And Shiki's like, I don't know who you are. Basically, Happy's like, you know, just showed your ass. She's like, anyway, do post more boring videos, won't you? We want to make you look better. You know, they make my videos look better, essentially. And Rebecca's just, you know, looking down, still, you know, teary-eyed and kind of embarrassed. And somebody grabs her hand from behind. So, you know, Lavilla's like, oh, what is this? You know, that's 10 G's to shake my hand. And she's like, hold up now. She gets lifted up into the air, and Shiki's, you know, pissed at this point. He's like, you made my friend cry. We know how Shiki is when it comes to the people he cares about, especially his friends. You know, tears are not something to be trifled with. Tears are like you're signing your blood warrant if you make tears fall from the people he cares about faces. And she pulls him, and then here comes Rebecca pulling him away again, man. Just like, no. He's like, you know, and then just Lavala falls to the ground, and she was like, what was that? Like, she kind of liked that. She's like, I need to put him in this next video. Talk about B-Cubers, as expected, just worried about the content. And then we leave there and we get to this new diner where we get introduced to the homie himself. Well, the species, aka Plu, that has a different name here, but I'ma still call it Plu. So you got a little Plu butler, you know, walking up with what looks like some meat with broccoli stuck out the back of it, and you know, it's called cureberry chicken. And Shiki's like, what is that? You know, and Rebecca lets him know that it's a Nicola. It's a species that you'll see a lot on that planet there. And Happy's just over there, like, kind of in the corner, slump, panicking. He's like, Happy, you don't seem too happy. He's like, I'm not good with dogs. Which is even the same thing when Lucy used to summon her Plu summon in Fairy Tale. Happy still wasn't. Him and dogs don't work. So, you know, you see the little Plu guys, you know, just walking around talking about some poom poom poom. No, I'm not gonna say poom poom. They're saying whatever it is that they technically say, you know, just conversing. And Shiki still just, you know, space is amazing, you know. And then she's just like, come on, man, you gotta eat. And Shiki essentially saying, like, I thought the guild, you know, would be more friendly. You know, I thought it was like a big family, but that's not the case. You know, Clarice is nice, and, you know, but apart from her, everyone else is kind of, you know, he just doesn't know. And she explains to him, we're called a guild, but people really just come here to look for work. That's basically it. She's like, that's so. And she's like, yep, the guild's pretty much your ticket to starting your adventures, and, you know, they're gonna be a lot of fun. And she's like, oh, perfect timing too, because my man's, his ID finally generated, and there it is. She's, you know, printing it out, that's really cool. Printing out an ID, you know, it just popped right out of the phone. And he was like, amazing, you know, amazing, a card appeared. You know, that's new. That's not one of the many things that that's just one of the many things that Aether can do. It can take solid form, and, you know, it basically has all his information, his ID, his rank, all that good stuff, you know. And he's just like, what's E-class? And, you know, she's like, we're E-class too. That's because, you know, they hold up and play games lately and they haven't actually been doing any adventuring, which is expected. You know, if you don't complete quests, you don't climb up any guild ranks, so you're gonna stay low level. And that's it. And then, so, you know, they're just sitting here, and, you know, everyone's just looking around and, you know, watching what's happening. So people watching. They're just people watching. And, you know, you see the Lavala BQ channel being played, and, you know, Rebecca's like, you know, I kind of hate to admit it, but her videos are kind of interesting, and her subscriber count is amazing too. I'm trying to get that too, man. You know, subscribe. I'm sure she puts a lot of effort into it. And then Shiki's got this big grin. He's like, you know how to make your videos better than hers? And she's like, oh, how? We go and meet mother. And you're just sitting there confident saying, like, we're just gonna go meet mom, go eat my dukes. And they're like, what? She's like, right, nobody's ever seen her, right? So we can be the first ones. We can be the ones to actually do this. And, you know, if we get this done, plus she can shut the guild people up, you know, like, he's like, I really feel like I've met her before. And Rebecca's like, you know what? I never thought about that, meeting mom. She's like, we can make a video out of that, and then, you know, we can get famous. And Happy's just like, you know, hey, that's right, you know, we can do this. And then they basically signed the deal saying, like, you know, let's stamp this, let's agree to it all on all accords. Everyone's in agreement. We're gonna go meet mother. No ifs, ands, or buts. Find a way out of the Sakura Cosmos and get the job done. And but they need a high performance ship to do that. The ship she has now, it just won't do that. The Aqua Wing, it's not high performance enough. So she's like, you know, it's all good, it's not over yet. We just need to get a new ship. We need a party. We need some party members, you know, a healer, a warrior, a magic caster. This is Shiki. He's like, She's like, he has a very fantastic imagination. He's basically counting off what this would be like if they were actually playing a RPG. So, you know, you need your warrior, your healer, and your magic caster. And so Rebecca is looking through some of their addresses in her phone book, which I'm assuming is she's, looking for the doctor, Dr. Wise. That's the doctor who actually fixed up Happy and made Happy who he is now. And Happy explains, you know, the doctor's a really good person. He's not picking up, says Rebecca. And it's been a long time anyway. So they just, you know, they're going to go pay him a visit. And so you get transported back into the next paneling scenes of what it looks like the city. No, not the city. It's actually the guild. And it's the space pirates, the Elsie's crew that we come to find out that's their name, the Elsie's crew. And, you know, the princess, the pirate queen princess, she walks up to the counter where Clarice is, and she's like, I'm looking for someone, and she shows him a picture of Shiki. She's like, I don't know, as Clarice is like kind of looking away crying, and some random guy in the background is like, I know where he is, you know, don't do it, you idiot. Another guy says, I heard them talking, they're headed towards Planet River. And then you see the Aqua Wing flying off into space, and you know, the whole crew happy, Shiki and Rebecca just like, you know, let's go see Mother. And just like, well, first we need a new ship. And Happy's like, I wonder if the doctor's okay. And you know, back with the Elsie's crew, and she's like, Princess, she's like, I know, you know, that star is apparently dead, so that planet's dead. And then that's kind of where we transition out, and it leads into chapter 4. Yo man, if you like the video, please like the video. If you got anything positive to say, please comment down below, man. Share, subscribe. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. If you also aren't, you know, you can check me out weekdays, Monday through Friday on Twitch at twitch.tv/TesmoGizmo, man, where most of the time I'm either gaming or sometimes I'll be doing my podcast there. And you know, also catch the podcast on some future dates here on the YouTube channel, man. But we gonna be making good things happen, man. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.